All right, welcome. This is a unboxing, unbagging, however you want to call it, of Paper Wars issue 108. Game inside is 3D Days. So we're going to be simulating 42. I think that was Sledgehammer. 43 was, I believe, Bolero, and 44 is Overlord, the historical one. So this game simulates all three. Quick look here at the table of contents. I'll zoom in when I go over the rest of the magazine here, but let's see. Got an editorial again. Ty Bomba. Looks like books on the topic here. Behind the Lines report, Adam Starkweather. Yep. I guess for Compass Games or games he's working on. Trench Raid. Design Deep Dive. That must be World War One. Designer interview. Lisa Smedman, I believe. Granada. Last Stand of the Moors. Case Geld variant. Battle of Inkerman era to counters. Okay, just the counters. Case Geld is a previous Paper Wars. I have that. It simulates a hypothetical Nazis and the Japanese win and they invade the U.S. Then we got 3D Days developer notes. Dr. Robert Smith, I believe he's M1 Tanker on BGG. 3D Days rules of play. And then they get into some games. Assault on Tobruk, optional analysis, rules, counters. Stellar Horizons, there's a new version coming out of that. Or second on, Take on the Galaxy. Second Fallujah. Player's notes. First Try of America Bomber, After Action. Santiago 1898 player aid charts, and then project and progress reports there at the end. So take a look at that here in a second. First, I want to look at the game components. First, here we go. Move that off to the side. I guess I'll start with the counters. Okay, these are traditional smaller sized counters, so they're packing them in here. And I'm not going to take it out of the clear here, but from what I've understood, oh yeah, they're about to come right out of the sheet. I can tell. If I slide it over, I guess we'll get a better view here. But looks like they break them down by game. Like here, oh yeah, 43 scenario, 42 scenario, and the 44 scenario. Kind of wish that wasn't there. Those are the alternate counters, but just a brief look, and these are the smaller ones. Yeah, oh, looks like we've got army level down to corps, so I guess you can combine a bunch of corps to form an army. We got the Brits, the US, here's Patton, this is 42. Germans, not as many units. Then we go to 43 and there's more units, more US, Brits, Germans, etc. Yeah, and there's some SS Panzers down there at the bottom, it looks like. Let's see, and then we got over here the 44 scenario, which I think has even more. So separate counters for each one, and the backsides do not have reduced strengths. Looks like they have the scenario, the year, and or the setup hex for the Germans. Okay. We got a lot of air power there too. So, but again, ready to fall out of the counter sheet. And these are the smaller ones. So, not oversized. I guess to fit 3 different counter sheets in, you want 3 different game counter sets. You're going to make them smaller on your average counter sheet here. Okay, it looks like a basic functional map here of France. Here's Normandy, Cherbourg. Let's see. Do we get to the German? Here's Arnhem. Okay, it only gets as far as Arnhem. Pretty much that sounds like that's where we limit it. It isn't crossing the Rhine here, necessarily and going into Germany. Although we do have portions of Germany here. Belgium. Yeah, pretty functional map. Goes the Spanish border down here on the left. And southern France, Cannes, Toulon, Marseille. So I guess you can do Operation Anvil second invasion, I guess, if you're doing the 44. So, and again, these See if I can do this. Charts. Starting from the bottom, German attack differential combat, Allied attack differential. Oh wow. And they're broken out by the year too. So each side has different combat results table, and each side uses a different column based on what year. And I'm assuming as you go later, the Allies get better. I don't know if the Germans get worse. Turn tracks. Okay. 11 for 42, 11 for 43, 13 goes to 11 September. Yeah, that's right before Market Garden. These go to, well, this one goes to the winter here. So, start dates. Yeah, it looks like different. I mean, this is obviously June. This invasion's in September. Wow, this invasion's in November of 42. That's going right away there instead of Torch. You know, that was a plan in case the Russians started collapsing, I guess. I think Ty will get into that in his article. Let's look at the terrain. We got close, clear, rough, mountain, river hexside. Oh, it's a hexside. Yeah, it's a hexside. Lake, cities, Siegfried Line, West Wall, borders, hedgerows. Yeah, we got a few hedgerows over here. I don't know if you can see it in Normandy. Transport lines, Holland swamps. It's clearing Antwerp, Brittany ports. Okay, I think, yeah, it does go down to Brest in the south. Yeah, we can see all that here. See if I can get that down far enough. Yeah, you can barely see it. Here's the hedgerows, and Brest is up here. So pretty solid coverage, and it looks like, yeah, at least for the Overlord scenario, it goes just to right before Market Garden. So again, functional map. Oh, that's right. The counters only had a combat strength on them. So we do have allied movement here, depending on the unit type. Armies can move 5, corps can move 10. Okay, that's why, oh, 8. Armies can move 8, corps can use 10. And German movement, panzer armies can move 8, corps can go 10, infantry 4, infantry corps 6. Okay, that's pretty interesting. So corps are somewhat faster. So if you're advancing fast, you probably want to be in a corps format, or retreating fast, and if you're kind of stuck on the beachheads, you want to concentrate into armies. So that's like the before and after for the Allied experience in Normandy there. That's an interesting twist. All right, so let's pause here, and we're going to look at the magazine. Sec. Okay, that seems to look good. So let's go ahead and take a look at the magazine here. Yeah, here we go. The editorial. Second Front Now, 1943. That's interesting. They looked that book up, saying what happens if the Allies had done it in 43. Kursk, I guess that impacts this. This looks like it detailed into the cross-channel attack. That's going to be Overlord. The D-Day Deception Campaign, I think that was, I forgot what they called it. Patton was running that blow-up tanks army group that the Germans were seeing. The Atlantic Wall. Oh, this is FDR. Multi-series. Command history. Divided on D-Day. Yeah, the divisions between the commands, the rivalries, etc. Okay. Some more books over here. Trench Raid. Solitaire game set in World War I. Starts with the player determine the raid's objective. Okay. Raiders are represented by single counters. I forgot the name of the game. Victory Point Games had one way back. It covered this. I wonder if this is a redo of this. Don't have any pictures of the components. This is just trench raids. Exploration game. Blank map. Okay. So you gotta I guess, explore and figure out. So we don't have any pictures of it yet. I don't know who Lisa Smedman is. Trench Raid. Oh, she's the one doing Trench Raid. Trench Foot from GDW. Okay. Okay, looking for that. Asking questions about how she got interested in that. There's Trench Raid. Okay, other war games. Okay, I also created Blood and Sand. Oh wait, I thought that was a GDW Tactical Modern Combat there. The Iraqi War, but it's not. It's for Gloomhaven. Okay. Okay, cool. This ought to be interesting. She'll have a different perspective, so watch for that. Granada, Last Stand of the Moors. Oh, this is actually a game here. Last Stand of the Moors, closely examine the last decade of Moorish. Splendor in the box. It looks point to point. Or region. Game engine. Cards. Okay. Granada and Sekigahara, almost identical. Okay. Wow. It's a block game. Okay, cool. I personally am not a big fan of block games, but this looks cool. Case Guild. I'd like to find the rules on how to use these. I may come back. I did a series on it. Germans just came up short. The Japanese got stomped on the beaches. Up there's M1 tanker, Dr. Robert Smith. And he was a developer for this game. Cool. For Tai Bamba here. So he goes into, I guess, the different aspects of each invasion here. It plays differently for each side, each one. I think a big variable for the 43 one is whether, how that affects the Russian front and whether Hitler pulls the forces off from there to deal with that. Let's see. Having rules. So we're in the game here. Scale, 20-mile hexes. Each game turn 1 week. And I think the counters are corps and armies. Components, all sorts of acronyms here. And it looks like the number here is just combat factor. Historical ID, unit size. That's about it. Combat factor in that movement table that we did see on the map. Can be armies or corps. We got mech units, non-mech units, static units. Combat factor, attack factor. Most units only have one. Maybe there's some units that have an attack factor. Defense, movement factors. I think that's on the chart. We saw that. Hedgerow adaptive. That's interesting. Allied heavy bombers. Yep, that's how Cobra initially started. They flew strategic. 8th Air Force pulverized the German lines. Unit scenario participation, hex control. I guess if you occupy it. Let's see. Sudden death victories, conditions, no draws in 42 and 44. Oh. But a draw is possible in 43. Okay, coming here, sequence of play, air superiority, allied player turn. Okay, here it is again. Move, fight, fight, move. He's putting that in a lot of games. German, move, fight, or fight, move. Supply check, terminal supply check, replacement, reinforcement, reorganization. That's at the end. 44 scenario, the Allies have air superiority. Done. Okay. Not in the case, though, in 42 and 43. Air superiority phase. And they've got procedures for that. Terminal supply, they talk about replacements. They go into each game there. Reinforcements. Specific army and corps scenario organizational structures. Okay, now the breakdowns are for 42, the Germans 43 and 44. Stacking 5 units, generally. Opposing units may not stack together. Yeah, okay. Stacking rules are in effect all times, so that you can bottleneck. Can't move through a hex that's already fully stacked. Wait, that's not true. Attention, move in crowded areas, otherwise moves made carelessly may block your units. Okay. Yeah, there's no limit on, okay. Stacking by nationality. Units of different ones aren't allowed. US and UK may stack and defend together in from the Cherbourg hex in 42. Okay. Let's see, free stacking. Fog of War. I've seen that before. Yep, can't look at under the lead unit. Zones of control, straightforward. If you enter a ZOC, you must stop. And you can't go EZOC to EZOC. And EZOC blocks supply unless occupied by a friendly unit. Standard. Tracing supply lines. You can trace a path of contiguous passable hexes of any length from a friendly supply source to its own. Okay? Can't trace through enemy occupied EZOC. Okay, we talked about that. Out of supply movement. Halved for that phase, round up. Out of supply attack. Halved, round up. Okay, this sounds like the I did previously Operation Isabella. It's the same here. Combat strength, defending units is not affected. And you can move out of supply. And I don't think you die either. I don't see it here. I don't think. Army disruption, core elimination. Disruption by breaking it down into the core components. And then if they're in core components and again out of supply, it looks like they're removed. I am guessing for in a single core or a stack made up of only of cores is found to be out of supply, it must suffer the elimination of one core. Okay, so you can be starved out of supply, except for the AAA, the Allied Airborne Army, which may have different rules. Let's see, movement. And you can move one hex. Let's see. And then they talk about the different terrain here. And their effects. Cumulative costs. Yep. Column movement. And also not in range of one or more enemy air power markers. And may never move, and this looks like strategic movement. They call it column movement. Scheldt Estuary, Hand of Holland, combat, multi-hex attacks, maybe can't attack sequences, anything you want. Combat procedure, combat differential. Let's see, oh, so the number is the combat differential, so it's not odds. Attack differentials, and then you pick what chart you want. Differential shifts, they talk about it. That's on the terrain effects chart. Concentric attack. Final combat results. CE stands for core equivalence. Counts as 1 CE. I guess that's how you do it there. And advance after combat. There's a disruption concept. Momentum attacks. Okay, we're getting some standard rules fare here for TIE. Flank attacks. I think that's a probing attack under a different name. No US-UK joint attacks. Except for 42 and they're in Cherbourg. Game rules go to 12. Then we're talking about the scenario. Sledgehammer. Yep. Air superiority rules. General Patton. I'd previously done Operation Isabella, the issue before this. We're getting pretty similar there. Sudden death victory. If the German player gains control of Cherbourg. So it looks like the Allies are landing in Normandy. If the game continues without a winner until the end of game turn 11, the Allied player wins. So they just got to stick around. Control Normandy. Oh, and there was an alternate. Okay, that's nice. You can choose an alternate Brest. Okay, I guess we just shift to Brest. Brest or St. Malo, however. Okay, that's interesting. It's easier to defend the base of the Brittany Peninsula, I would imagine. And then we got Bolero. Yep, or Round Up. Air superiority rules. How to win. If the Germans get either beachhead hex, game turn 11, the German player has a mobile unit or stack in one or more hexes immediately adjacent to the beachheads declared to have won. Okay. If the Allied player at any time simultaneously controls Paris and Antwerp, woof, play stops. At any time controls one or more cities inside Germany east of the Rhine. Okay. Neither play, and there is a draw here. Then they talk about heavy bomber support, which I guess became available in 43, 8th Air Force. Oh, and here are reinforcements. I guess that's variable from what I've read. The Germans could get reinforcements from Russia, maybe they won't. Germans could get reinforcements from the Italian front. Operation Blue Point. That means they throw, I guess, all of the Luftwaffe. Static version of 2nd Paracorps and places it atop the Allied stack in the beachhead hex. Whoa. Okay. It's crazy. Alternate roundup landing sites. Le Havre. Possibilities. German players place Canada. Oh, is this the Allies land on Calais? That would be crazy. Yeah, there it is. Calais, Boulogne. So 42 assumes Normandy, alternate Brittany. 43 assumes Calais, Boulogne, alternate Le Havre. Okay, got some replayability there. And then we've got our historical overlord. And secretly plot his second invasion. Okay. And I guess they land in Normandy. But then we can plan a second invasion. Yeah, there you go. Don't have that in the previous ones. Alternate landing sites. Let's see. Any two neighboring hexes along the Atlantic coast. Okay. Then it could be anywhere. All right. Then we got our charts, the differentials, counters, charts. All right, cool. So about the same, it looked like 12 pages of rules. Then we move on to the Assault on Tobruk game. I didn't pick this one up, but it does look interesting. Maybe skim this and decide. This is the operational analysis. Nice. Terrain map, and this is all about the Germans taking Tobruk, second time around. First time around it held, but the second time around it didn't. Strategies, yeah, there we go. Yeah, you can see the focus here. And additional bombardment counters, I think. Optional rules, nice. Consolidated errata. Oh, Stellar Horizons. Look at that, because that second game moves it into the galaxy. So that's interesting. I'll look at that. Stellar Horizons interview. Players know for second Fallujah. Need to look at that. Let's see. Okay, there are the units, area map. Somebody does an AAR of America Bomber, Patrick Haggerty. If you're interested in that solo game, looks like, going off that B-17 tradition. Number of games came from that. And here we've got a hypothetical 4-engine German heavy bomber. And it looks like these are alternate charts for that. There's some other thing. No, this may be 1898 charts. I remember that from the beginning. Don't have that one. Okay. And there we go. Unlike, and we do see what the next issues are. Free Corps, Red Partisans, Fire and Sword. Then Civil War, Cedar Creek, Drury's Bluff. Okay, so that's what's coming up too. Anyway, sorry, let's put that in the middle. All right, cool. So I believe that's a wrap. And again, we're under 30 minutes. That's a good stopping point here. So that is Paper Wars 108, 3D days. Looks like a lot of replayability. 3 different invasion times, and within them alternate landing sites, I guess, for all of them. So yeah, a lot of things to examine here, different things to test. So sounds very interesting, the 42 and the 43 especially. Sledgehammer and Bolero / Roundup. So anyway, thanks for listening. Comments appreciated. If you liked, click like. And please, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel so you can see when the next one comes up. So see you at the next one. Thanks.